shack was actually a model. It's like a dollhouse cutout. When you had the roof off of dollhouses, you know how those used to be? And that's what it was. It was 3/8 inches to the foot to scale. There was no drawing. That's all we had to go by to build the building. Tracy gave us the dimensions of the building we needed. Like I said, it's an Armco steel building, and he gave us the size and the height that we needed. And from there we started with the structural first, of course. We built it in the dead of the winter, and once we got the walls and the roof on, we closed in the front so we could run heat and work in the back part of it. Tracy had a lot of good ideas. He wasn't the best mechanic as far as keeping things mechanically going, so we had to help him on that a little bit. For the most part, everything is still original in there and still going. The cars are original. There's about 486 feet of track in this ride, so if you figure the cars going that many years, do that building a lot of miles with these cars. Of course, they're maintained every day. The cars run on a low voltage. It's 12 volts on the track, and that is so nobody will get shocked by it, okay? There's a transformer in the car that increases the power to 120 to a motor that drives the gearbox that drives the car. And when we get done, there's some cars tipped up out back. That's where we work on them, and you can see how they look underneath. There's a little dolly that runs on the track, and two pads rub the track, and that's what powers the car. It's pretty simple, and it works, and it's been going for a long time. Any questions while we're out here? We'll go through here, and I'll explain some things inside. Go ahead.
How many are still going?
I don't know if there's any. Is there?
Yes.
One, maybe?
Well, in New Jersey, right? Isn't there one?
Is there one in Jersey and is there one in...
Does anybody know? They have different names for them. They're not all called Wacky Shack.
Camden?
That's right at Camden.
There's not too many of them out there.
The one at Camden is an exact replica of the one at Conneaut.
Okay.
So this is a little different, I think. But
Wonderland Park in Texas, Amarillo. It's a similar one. Tracy, it was his design.
We try to keep the colors the same, color scheme the same when we paint. Maintain the front and up on top. The top came in 4 different sections, well, 4-foot sections, and we built that, had to raise it up with a crane. There again, it wasn't really built for good weather conditions along like we have here, so I've had that all off there, and we rebuilt the whole thing out of treated wood, treated plywood. And I had it laying here in the midway. We rebuilt it, took it back up, and I have it all with hooks so it can be picked off of there with a crane. So it's try to keep it well maintained. The wood, the green wood on the bottom is all original paint. That's never been touched. Of course, it's under roof, so it doesn't get the weather like a lot of the other stuff does. Any other questions out here? Tracy would bring some of the gags and stuff. They'd ship that down, and then he would come down and kind of guide us on how to put it together. He told us the barrel would fit through the doors, so he says go ahead and frame the doors in and all that, and that was all wrong, okay? We had to cut the barrel in half to get it in where it is now. So a few things like that he missed. And I'll show you something else, and then we had to cut in half to get it in the building.
how many original tricks are left?
I think most of them, all of them. There might be 1 or 2 that are gone.
I have a question. What's your biggest issue or problem with maintenance?
Probably the cars, and that's just a general maintenance. You know, there's a lot of wear and tear on. You have to check the pads. The pads get wore. The little dolly wheels, when they get wore, the keepers go down. You can't have the keepers hitting the track rivets and so on. So there's a lot of little things that kind of work together on that whole thing.
What's your most problematic transit type?
I don't know. Tilda maybe at the bar scene. it isn't really a problem, you know, it's just, there again, maintenance.
Yeah.
I don't do it anymore, I'm kind of not here, so it's over to some other good guys to take care of it. But, yeah, there was a lot of good things that Tracy had here and the Cove. And so the only difference in building this and the Cove had to be completed as it was built because you couldn't get through it with a sheet of plywood or anything like that. We did have a drawing for that, and over there we placed all the gags where they were going to be and measured them out several times. Walkways, that was critical. Then we built everything to the gags. So some of that in here wasn't so bad because we had room to carry stuff in and so on. But yes.
How many horsepower does the folder have on those cars? What's the horsepower rating?
I think they're just 1 horse motors. They're not, you know, just a standard motor. But all that's tucked underneath that little car. So the transformer's in there, the gearbox, and the motor. So, like I say, when we get done, if you want to walk out back on this side, you can see what they look like when they're picked up.
Yeah, Perry, wasn't there an issue with the original dip?
Yeah, the original dip, you can see a seam there in the blue. That was the original dip, and it was too abrupt. It was snapping the people in the cars. It was just down and back up too fast.
What's the problem with that?
So we had to straighten that out to what it is now. Also, the cars had we have a thicker back cushion in the cars to push your body more forward in the car because it's such a short wheelbase, if you want to call it that. So we moved the body of the people a little further up, 4 inches roughly on some of them. And then we added a 50-pound weight in the front, and that's lead. That bar that's in the front is all lead. So we added that in there to keep it balanced.
Did you mention like when you made that modification on the dip, like how far into your operation?
Oh, I'm going to say maybe a couple years.
All right.
It wasn't the same.
Gotcha.
Thing there. Yeah. So everything else is pretty much as is. Yes.
How much downtime does this thing have during the season? Does it break down very often?
It doesn't really have any downtime. I mean, I think I can say that truthfully because when we have a downtime, it's usually a car. Okay. Now the worst downtime would be if it's cracking the track. Okay, and then we'd have to stop, repair that, weld that. Might have an hour. When we weld in here, we don't. We watch it for probably an hour or so.
So if a car goes down, we just pull it off and keep running. So it takes about a matter of minutes to get a car off, get it out of the way.
We have 9 cars. We run. If we run 7, I think they're running 6 most of the time. If you run 7, the operator can hardly keep up with them because every 2 minutes there's a car coming out. It takes 2 minutes to go through the ride. 2 minutes and 4 seconds or something. So the operator's got to really pay attention. You know, the time he's loading and unloading. And the cars, there's 5 switches in the front. 1, 2, 3, 4 advances the car up to the operator. Number 4 switch is only powered when he powers the switch so the people can unload. We don't want the car moving while the people are stepping out of the car. So just a couple of years ago they put in a number 5 switch, which is like an emergency. If people are wondering if they're going to get another ride from over there and don't get out of the car, then we've got to stop the next car so it don't bump in. So that's a safety factor we added.
So the operator on this ride really has to be good and paying attention because not only is he trying to figure out the loading and the unloading of people, but he's got to pay attention to how many cars are in there and the timing of going in. And he's got to push, like you said, there's like 4 or 5 different switches to electrify each section of the track.
Yeah, we have 4 different sections in the track. When you get in there on that section, you'll see the numbers on the floor. We have in chalk, we have them numbered so the operator can look down and he can tell where one car is positioned by the number on the floor, so he'll know to push number 3 switch or number 2 switch or 4.
So your operator's self-advancing the cars from unload up to the load position.
Yeah. And we have an audible signal. We added an audible signal so you know when you don't send the next car in until you hear the audible signal.
At the end of the barrel, there's a buzzer, and when that rings, then he knows that car cleared that area, and send out another car. Running 7 cars, like I say, he's really got to pay attention. He's got to pay attention to 6.
Is there a thing in the kind of computer control on the ride?
No.
It's still manual.
It's all manual.
Right, that's why the Steel Dragon is like a mouse type ride where it's so computer controlled with the blocks that it's not that hard for the operator to. He can't put a car if it's too soon, put it in. But this one, it's all manual, so you have to have a good operator. If a car breaks down inside and he keeps sending more in, suddenly he'll realize, hey, none are coming out. What's going on? It's not good. He doesn't usually work that ride very many times. If he does that, it's like, you can't do this.
Get your edge.
They have to be on the toes there to be trained specifically to be able to operate that ride.
Right.
And they can't be talking to anybody out here.
Right, yeah,
So
because
they
we're
gotta-
cheap. We don't want to pay another operator just to handle the people, which we should probably. So he's got to do both.
Sometimes on a real super busy day, they'll have an operator assistant over there to get them out of the cars in time. People really get confused. They think they're going to ride back up here where they got in, and that's not it. They exit over there and go out. This gate right here is for handicap. So if we have a wheelchair person, they can ride. And what I always recommended, they get all the cars out and stop. Don't have to shut the track off and stop the cars. That person gets in, then he's all ready to ride through. And then when he comes out, they used to have it down there. It's better here because the operator has more control of not bumping that car when the wheelchair person is exiting. And they have to have a person with them to help. Any other questions? We'll go inside. Yes?
You said this is built with Armco steel with an M or Arco?
A. ARMCO. They were one of the biggest metal building businesses in its time. But them and Butler are competitors, like Cadillac and whatever else.
Yeah, my dad worked at the Butler.
Really? Yeah, they've gone out of business now.
Yeah, they're
I've put their buildings up all over the country around here. So we have 5 or 6 of those in the park. So. Okay, any other quick questions? Well, yes.
What's the official date that this opens?
Date that it opened? Boy. Well, it was the season of 1970, maybe?
No, it's not. 1970, I believe. I'll have to. That's a good trivia question. I'll go find it.
Go with Memorial Day weekend.
We have the picture of the whole thing. Steve has it in his office. Confiscated that away from Tracy. I tried to get the model, but
It's like the original drawing, right?
Yeah, that's
his original drawing.
so we have that. But of course, Bill Tracy. A lot of you know who he was and read about him. He was just a phenomenal person. He was nice to know. I wish I had some pictures of him whenever we were here together. But it was unique working with him. I guess it's unique that I helped build it, or did build it, or whatever you want to call it, and I'm still here, still alive, okay? So, I'll be 75, and I would have been 76, but I was sick a year. So, okay, let's start moving inside, and watch your footing in there, okay? There's a lot of stuff on the floor. It's much safer to ride a car than try to walk to it, okay? But the lights will be on, so watch where you're walking.
And Eric has been through this building many times, so he's going to be designated helper to make sure people behave and don't trip. Don't
You've
trip.
been here 55 years?
Yeah, how long have you been here?
No.
Especially
Yeah,
people
yeah,
looking
yeah,
at their
yeah,
cameras, make
yeah,
sure you're watching where your feet are.
Yeah, don't step on the track.
54.
Did they give you the gold watch for your 50th anniversary?
No, but they've treated me very well. I don't need a gold watch. I just it's a wonderful family. Steve and his family, Mrs. Nelson.
Midpoint, maybe.
Did you have a question?
And no souvenirs inside either, by the way. Everything stays. I'll be watching.
I'm gonna take her back.
I'll be watching the TV.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
Let's go through right here, I think.
Come on.
Kind of bunch up the best you can. It's gonna be. little trinkets that's over the door is stuff that I found in the Midway or I found in cars.
Oh, how cool.
I stick them up there, and thank goodness they've kept them going.
That's hilarious.
You guys that can hear me, all the little stuff over the door is stuff that I found in the Midway or in the cars or somewhere in the park. Okay, let's start going through here.
The big difference between this one and the one at Conneaut and Camden is they actually have a chain lift
Yeah.
instead of the powered lift.
Yeah, it's actually freewheeling.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about right here. We'll get a bunch in the back of this here. Kind of, you can go on both sides of the track if you want to just watch your footing. Probably not going to get everybody in here. You can see the ramp on the right-hand side is the way the car travels. That gives you, with the tilted quarter is what that's called. It gives you the sensation the car is tipping. So that was all Tracy's idea. You raise the car on one side and we do have a fire alarm in the building. We just walked by it down there. So it's all secured with that. And we have 6 fire extinguishers in here. The operators know where those are at, and they better be calling maintenance before they need them.
Yeah. I want my salon.
Okay, this is the barrel I mentioned we had to split to get it in here. And you can see that the doors the way they were, that would have never fit. Tracy might have been having a senior moment or something then. But the bridge is original. That came from Tracy. And the railings and everything is still original. The paint on the bridge is still original.
Wow.
Although it needs refreshed. That glows in the black light, okay? And but the barrel has 3 wheels down this side and 3 wheels on this side, and one is a drive wheel, and we'll see that when we go around the corner. The barrel is turning, trying to think, this way, and this wheel behind me is turning the opposite way. So when you look at it through out of your car, you're looking into this mirror, it gives the illusion you're tipping or whatever you want to feel. There's the fire exit right here we can use. This big door up here, and when you guys ride your ride, you'll hear this. There's a big door there that has a knocker in it. That door came out of a home here in the park that we took down to build a picnic shelter.
Huh.
It's 3 inches thick and has a big arch on top, so Mr. Nelson wanted to incorporate it in here just to save it.
The frame too?
Yes, everything.
Nice.
I took that out of that house and we took down. Okay, and of course there's a ghost up here, and if a fan blows on him. Tracy used different gags for different purposes. Like when you come around, you see the mirrors here, which reflects on the barrel, so you kind of see that before you get started up the hill. How are we doing? Everybody still with us? This is the gearbox that drives the barrel right down here, and the barrel runs on those ribs, and they're all cut out of plywood, and of course there's gags on here that a lot of you guys know Randy Scalise. He helped do some of there's a skeleton, I guess he's up on top, and Randy helped us put that stuff on, some of the stuff that's on the barrel. Randy does a lot here, and then he works here for us too in the weekends sometimes. see the elevations in here, how them little cars have to really work. Getting them up through these hills, and this is what he called the rat attic, I think it was, where we're standing now, everything over our head. This is one of his gags. This is, they call him Joe Gould. That's one of Tracy's. Everything we see in here is what Tracy made, and if it's something different, I'll let you know. This guy pops up. Someplace back there's an air hose, and when this discharges the air, it kind of blows on top of your head in the car there.
So was the door added after this was already in there?
What's that?
That door that's in the house, was that
Yeah.
added afterwards?
Yeah, that's
After it was up- okay.
These are Tracy's spiders. They wiggle back and forth, and of course he's got the skull for the head part of it. All done with black light. I think most of you know that. So, now this ghost in the corner, we added this guy. It was kind of a dead corner, and we wanted to put something there. So, and there's a fan that blows on him. You see a box with a red dot on it, that means there's a fire extinguisher behind it. There's 6 of them. We train the operators to know that and know how to use them. Like I say, we hope they call maintenance before they have to do that. This is a light like a train. There's a lot of horn blows here. And that light will come on and kind of hit you in the face and simulates a train coming at you. And these are the locks for the doors. We strap them in the corners up here. The ride's designed so the operator's got to go through the ride backwards to make sure there's no fire or nobody in here, okay? So he's got to start up here and work backwards to end up down where we come in. So that's how we keep the bars for the doors right there. Probably noticed maybe we put a tracking. This is tempered masonite, some of it's plywood. We put that down so the tires don't wear the plywood out that's in the part of the building, because that would be a real bear to replace that.
Yeah, you can feel the plywood's clearly not as strong.
So we keep everything where the tires track so they don't wear on the floor.
Did you start it that way too, or did we add that later?
Well, I'm going to say the second year we added that because I could see the wear coming on the floor,
Okay.
especially on the turns, because this tire's tracking and once it's catching up to it, although they changed in the gearbox too.
Interesting.
But I didn't want to have to replace this plywood. That's horrible. How's everybody coming over there, okay?
Yeah.
This is not original paint. We painted this, I don't know how many times, a few times. But, you watch your step now. We're going to do it. This is what Tracy called the diminishing quarter.
It's a little easier to down.
And as you look down through, you can see the squares get smaller. And this looks good with black light on it. So we had to put a brake on the car because of the hills. This strip of steel on this side is a brake that slows the car down so it doesn't get going too fast.
So there's no governors on the,
No. No. As the little dolly wheels wear on the car, we have to put new ones on, and we have to adjust the brake because it lifts the car a little bit. I mean, it's not much tolerance. You gotta really. your head, there's a guy that's supposed to be on a toilet, and he lights up. You can see it back there. It's over. So we come too far. Coming in, folks, as tight as you can get there. This is what he calls a strobe room. There's strobe lights on the wall right here that flash in here. It's like a welding flash, very bright. And these stripes are still original. They come painted from Tracy, from this guy, his shop. Wow. The floor, everything. He hasn't done nothing in here as far as painting. And he had knocker boards back right there by that doorway. I had to take them out because they were shaking the cars apart. It was a good idea, but it wasn't practical. It would shake the nuts and bolts off the car. We just took those out like 2 years ago. So, but this is the strobe room. This is, of course, mirrors on the wall. And this is how we get across from one section to the other. We came through there. There's a foot different elevation here in the flooring. So, in this model, he had the elevations all carved out of foam. The barrel was made out of a toilet paper roll. I mean, he had the ideas, but it was all to scale. I'm not kidding you. I wish I could have got that. But anyway, we camouflaged that pretty good, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's for maintenance only. Well, sometimes we have to. Okay, let's move on around in here. Watch your footing in here. It's going to get a little darker. Oh. Yeah. What's the steps on your right? We've got ramps and track all going different elevations.
Watch the doors when they come.
Okay.
Got it?
Everybody congregate in here as best we can, okay? Don't keep coming.
Battery's running low, guys. I'm gonna have to turn this off and restart. Got an extra battery.
Oh.